So yes, it's a great experience, and it's wonderful to know them. I just gave them a title, the people that came onto my blog. I called them, I gave them in a kind of abbreviated form, I called them my EF, and they're all over the world. And it's really become a wonderful family, because every time I travel outside, say if I go to England or if I go to New York or somewhere in Europe, there is an EF there somewhere. They all come and meet me, and now I know almost 200-300 of them by face. They come to India, they come to Mumbai, and there are a lot of EF in Mumbai, and they're in touch with each other, and when they come, they stay in each other's places. If I'm, say, I was performing my father's poetry in Paris at the Théâtre du Champs-Élysées, and they all came to know, and about 40 of them collected money through their earnings. And for the first time, they all gathered together, somebody from South Africa, somebody from Middle East, from San Francisco, from England, from Germany, and they all gathered at the same point at the airport in Paris and met each other for the first time. They all stayed together, and they all came to the function together.
You're like a Rotary Club of your own.
Yeah, it was just wonderful. So yes, it's been a great experience and a great joy.
But have you not considered writing an autobiography?
No, it's not worth it, no.
I think you should consider doing a book of conversations. I think I have about 10,000 words of conversations with you. We could turn into a book. Gaurav and Shikha are around. We can sign a contract right now. But my question to you, Mr. Bachchan, is, do you, like everyone else, you get trolled on Twitter?
Oh, yes.
No way.
Yeah. The choice abuses, which obviously I cannot mention here. And I never block them, because I think it's good to know what other people think about you. And there are many that are not very kind and generous in their remarks. But that's fine. And yes, I do get abused every day, almost.
Are you otherwise?
And sometimes you get the odd remark which is kind of sarcastic, and that gets picked up by the media, and a whole headline is made out of it. Like recently, when I went to Kolkata and sang the national anthem, in my Facebook, in the responses that I get on my Facebook day, about 2,000 responses. So somewhere down in the 1,000 something, somebody, और वो 4 करोड़ रुपए जो लिया था गाने के लिए, उसका क्या हुआ? It's just a stray remark, and that was picked up. And, the media went crazy, and I had a very senior journalist actually send me a message. So, did you take that 4 crore rupees? And I was pretty disappointed, because I felt that, I never expected somebody of your breeding and your attitude and your, maturity to be able to even think that somebody would charge money for singing the national anthem. But that's what it is. But worse happened, because now somebody has filed a case against me for singing the anthem 22 seconds longer than what it should be. So if they call me again, I'll have to sing it within 58 seconds. Yeah. But, it's strange, because nobody would have ever known the person who filed this case, but now he's a world-renowned figure. So this happens very often with people in public life and who have some kind of celebrity status. Just to take a shot at you, they will have their moment of importance. And it's something that you cannot avoid, and you have to live with it. So right now there are several cases against me which are emanating from things like this.
You said some kind of celebrity status. Your problem will be called a superstar, or I said it thrice. Is this at some level your defense against the fact that for the past 4 or 5 decades, people have just been calling you great, Big B, Shansha? Are you tired of people telling you or praising you all the time? Yeah, does it like get to you after a point?
It's not healthy, because it's not deserving. And even if it was, I just feel that if somebody was deserving of being called by these wonderful epithets, it would stunt their growth in many ways. The moment you start believing that you're great and you're big, then somewhere you don't think of expansion or don't think of going any further. So it's it's good to just remain very normal and still wanting to learn and be challenged by something which you haven't done, or look at your tomorrow's day with a lot of anticipation, with fear, with anxiety as to what is going to happen, whether I'm going to be able to perform, and whether it's going to be perfect, whether it's going to be understood or not. But these are some of the things that goes through my mind every day, so I couldn't possibly.
But one can't take away from the fact that when you started, there was 1970, which was the first term of Indira Gandhi, and from then you're still the movie. You just thank you, congratulations for the national award.
Oh, thank you.
So from the first term of Indira Gandhi to the current term for Modi, from 1970 to 2016, governments have changed, Tinder has come in or whatever has not come in, and this book is only about the past 20 years, but you've dominated absolutely everything for those decades.
No,
that cannot be taken away.
No, that's not true. Really.
That's not true.
Yeah. There are many other public figures who've had an extremely long life.
Tell me one who's Indian.
I think a lot of politicians have had a much larger and a longer public life. If I'm not wrong, our present President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, he's had one of the longest tenures of public life. He's been a member of parliament, he's been ministers in several different cabinets, and look, he's still...
Speaking of which, everyone's talking about whether you will accept if you were offered to become the President of India. That's what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
You brought it up.
This has to be a joke, obviously, so humor and wit, I shall accept that with a lot of humor and wit.
So you won't or you will?
It's a joke.
It's a joke, okay. One of the things that the book touches on, and this is my last question before I read the acknowledgement of the book and then come back. Actually, this is not my last question. It has to do with acknowledgement. Is happiness, the idea of happiness. And Mr. Bachchan, you've seen ups and downs, and because you've been a public figure throughout, so we all know about your highs and lows and ups and downs. But what makes you happy?
Well, right now I'd like to get back and go back to the game.
You asked me to hurry up, yes. I'll quickly go through. Score kya hua?
शाबाश गेल गया कि नहीं अरे गया
So this is
सर उसको घर पे आया तो उसको इतना खिलाया पिलाया उसका हाथ पैर जोड़ा हो गया काम.
I'll quickly go through the acknowledgement of the book and get on to the last question so we can also so yeah, I read.
Hey, गेला I didn't realize that. Yeah, गेला.
So just to get on to the acknowledgement of the book, and before we finish the evening and get on to the game as well, need to thank a few people who are responsible for this book. Of course, the first person would be Akar Patel, who gave me a column when I was about 23 years old. I had to grow a goatee. At that time, when Mr. Bachchan had one, I had no brief, not even Bollywood or popular culture. I froze every week. This seemed all too overwhelming for me. So thank you, Akar. He's not here, he's in Bangalore. Each piece in this book, and it's abridged, slightly altered, or another version, has appeared in the following publications: Midday, Mumbai Mirror, Sunday Midday, Caravan, Open Magazine, Hindustan Times, New York Times, Man's World. I think Radha is here somewhere. Thank you, Radha. And the Indian Quarterly. As for the book itself, there's my publisher, Shikha Sabarwal, editor, Pooja Dadwal, my agent, Kanishka Gupta. Thank you most of all for being patient. Yes, I go MIA once in a while, and let me make no excuses this time. It's mainly to hang out with friends, which is the only life I know. And my friends are all here. And thank you so much for being there. The next book, I'm going to have a friends list. So of all the people, so make sure that you buy a couple of copies of the book. It costs less than a pint of beer, and the beer tonight is free, so we're all good. Now, film critic Gene Siskel had a simple but profound question he would sign off all his celebrity interviews with, leaving many flummoxed by the end of it. It's something I'm told Oprah Winfrey credited and incorporated in her talk show later. The question, what do you know for sure? Meaning, I guess, if everything changed about your life, was that one thing you're sure won't? In other words, that one thing that really matters actually. It's a tough one for anyone. For me, it's quite simply my best friends, who only coincidentally happen to be my family, my parents, my dad, my mom.
Please sit, please.
My brother Alok is back somewhere. His little kids, Ira, AJ, Raki. Like this book, like everything else, is for you. And can I please have my parents over so they have a gift for you, Mr. Bachchan?
Sure. Other questions over? Oh, thank you so much.
मेरे गांव को पेंटिंग है उसको
जी
मधुबनी
जी
पेंटिंग
मधुबनी ओह यस
My
हाँ
mom is
मधुबनी
from
से उनकी तो पेंटिंग बहुत
बच्चे के सामने